Hey everybody, it's Julie. Thanks for joining me today for another process video using our Creative Retreats November Faith Art Box. Today we're actually not in a Bible, we are in our church hymnal. This is an old church hymnal I got from our church. It's many series ago. And so this is one that I just thought that the way to honor and cherish and treasure this hymnal is to journal in it. So I am journaling the hymn, O Come Emmanuel. This is one of my favorite hymns. And what I'm doing here is I'm just getting some paint on the page. I've pre-mixed some colors so that I could kind of match the colors with the kit. Some of this green and a soft red, kind of a rosy red, and more of a dark red. And now I'm just getting some variation of those colors. I'm using a baby wipe to wipe these on. I will link the colors that I'm using. They're just acrylic paints. And one of this red that I'm using is a metallic paint. It has a metallic shimmer to it. So I just thought that was going to be pretty cool. I have the intent here to do some embossing with silver, so I thought it would just be fun to get some metallic sheen. So I'm kind of framing the middle right here. So I got some of the pink and the rose and the red, and now I'm framing it with a little bit of the green. Now notice over there on the left, I also hit the palette, my paper, with my heat gun because I'm going to use that. I don't know if you've seen any of my videos before where I've done that, but I tend to use what I mix up when I'm making pretty colors over there. I tend to use that sometimes. So now I'm using my Embossing Buddy tool. I will make sure to link a product that you can use. This gets rid of the static and it just prevents any of the embossing ink from sticking and the embossing powder from sticking where it's not supposed to. This is a metallic silver and I'm stamping right here in the middle. Rejoice, rejoice. But that second stamp didn't quite take. And part of it is because of where my mat was underneath the page. So that's just a heads up. Make sure that your mat, the crease of it, doesn't mess up where you're stamping. So I'm coming in with an embossing pen trying to fix that. And you'll see it's going to actually cause some problems later on. So I'm using my silver. This is a really shimmery, a very thick silver embossing powder, and it's going to give a beautiful effect. So I've sprinkled my silver embossing powder, and I'm tapping it off, and I'm going to save that, just putting that back into the tub, and I'm brushing that off. Now I hit that with the heat gun, and I just love to watch it work. Now, because this is a very thick embossing powder, it's not a fine detailed powder, sometimes you actually want to go back over it with a second coat. So you'll see me do that later. This paint has made the page roll up. So I've just stuck down a little bit of washi tape on the edges to make it stick to my mat so that it won't cause problems right now. Okay, so right now I'm going to stamp the word rejoice down towards the bottom of the page. But this time I'm doing it in black ink. This is my Memento black ink. And I didn't want to get more silver there. I just really wanted to focus on the silver there at the top. But I decided to go over that. You couldn't quite see the silver real well. So I'm going back over with some of my paint and just giving it an edge, filling in that white spots, those white spots with some of the green and the red. So you can just see how I went around that. That allows the silver to be seen a little bit more. Now I'm using these beautiful, lovely fun stars from the kit, from the stamp set that were designed by Ashley. Actually, we have two Ashleys on our team now. So this is Mag and me on Instagram. She designed this Rejoice script and also these stamps, these stars, in the stamp set. And so I'm still using the silver. Now I'm also going to stamp these stars over here on my palette. You see where I stamped them in there because I'm going to end up cutting that into a tab. So I'm putting a couple of the stickers down, just some of the words that I want to use, and I'm just playing around, see what I want to do here. Here I'm using the word Emmanuel because this hymn is, O come, Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us, and that's what the whole Advent season is about. It's about God coming down in the form of Jesus, in the form of a human man, and coming to be with man, not just as God, but as man. He took on the form of man. He gave up his divinity and he took on the form of man to live with us and to save us from our sin. That's one reason why I love this hymn so much. It just really focuses on that. So you see how I made a tab. I just used my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch, and I cut out my palette where I had mixed my paint, and then I stamped some of the stars. So you want to use everything that you have. Don't waste any of those pretty colors that you mix up. So I made that, and I stuck the sticker that says Rejoice up on that little tab. So I'm using a couple of the hearts. I love these hearts that are in our kits, the fun hearts, and I'm just going to give you a heads up. There is something exciting in next month's Faith Art Box. So stay tuned, and it's about the hearts that I just said. Okay, and back onto our page here. Oh, so I'm deciding what I want to do with the page here. What should I do? Something's not working. So where should I put my journaling? The problem with hymnal art journaling is you don't have a lot of this space, a lot of the blank space to journal. So I'm outlining my stickers right now to make them pop off a little bit, just outlining them with my black. And I think I'm going to journal down in the bottom left-hand corner. That's probably the best place to do my journaling. So I do a little bit of that. You'll see me do that in a few moments. But I'm just outlining all of my elements there. So I do a little bit of journaling here, and I just talk about, again, thanking God for sending his son Jesus to live with us, that God is with us. And, that's what the whole second Advent is about. It's about us waiting for God to come back and take us to be with him. So there's the first Advent, and that's what we're celebrating in Christmas season. And now we're just waiting his second return. So it's the first and the second Advent. And as we celebrate the first Advent, we're looking forward to the second. So that is such good news. So now I've decided I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a second coat of this embossing because the first coat was a little bubbly. And as you build upon the layers, it's not as bubbly and it'll just become a smoother image. So I'm doing that. But you'll see it works really well on the first Rejoice, on the one on the left. But the one on the right, it gave me problems the whole time. You'll see it as I heat it here. And a lot of it was because I just messed around with it. It's all bubbly and nasty, and it just doesn't work. So what do I want to do now? I don't like the black at the bottom. I think I'm going to end up covering up that Rejoice at the top on the top right. And now I'm going to emboss this one down here at the bottom. This is what I love about clear acrylic stamps, is that you can see what you're doing. I started stamping back when it was all wooden blocks and you couldn't really see what you were doing. So this is just so much more fun. Now, I did not intend to use a doily in this page. On our design team, we've been using lots of doilies, and I've been on a doily kick for a couple of months with a lot of my pages. But I had to use a doily to cover up this Rejoice. I'm taking off some of the stickers, and I did rip my page, so I'm going to have to fix that. So I'm putting a doily to cover that second Rejoice, and I am using a little bit of silver cord just to tie there. And it's easy to do with this doily. You could just tie it between some of the holes there. Now I'm going to use some of my alpha stickers. Now you notice the stickers on the right are the ones that came with this kit, and the ones on the left came with one of the other kits. Let's see, I think it was the September Faith Art Box. I believe so, but they really do. I had quite a bit left, and they really do match this set. And with these alpha stickers, you tend to have a lot left over. So don't worry. pull them out from your stash and match them up. A lot of our colors with the Creative Retreat kits will match over the different months. So pull them out and use them. So what I did is I pulled out the stickers that said, "Shall come to Israel," because that's what this song is about. Emmanuel shall come to Israel. And that's what we're rejoicing about. That's what the hymn is about. Rejoice, rejoice, shall come to thee, O Israel. So I've pulled that sticker from the bottom that I had used that says Emmanuel, and I'm putting it up at the top above that. So it says Emmanuel shall come to Israel. That's really the only thing that made sense. So now I put Jesus down there at the bottom to replace that. And where do I put these? I'm just playing around. If anything, this is a process that shows you that even if you make mistakes, there are ways to fix them. And I had to patch a hole in my page, and I had to do some cover up. I had to do some second attempts. But, you know, it's all about spending time focusing on God and focusing on His Word and focusing on hymns. And you know, hymns are all about His message too. And so what if it takes a little bit of extra time and you mess up? That's what God, He loves us. There's grace, right? So I'm using a little bit more hearts. Now, I want to use the rest of this doily. I just felt like it was a little heavy up in the top right, so I'm going to balance it out by using some of the doily tags, what is left over, that I cut on the bottom and then over on the edge. I didn't want to cover up my journaling, so I'm just putting it there on the two edges, and that gives it a little bit more balance. Notice I use the thirds, the rule of triangles there, so I've got the 1, 2, 3 sections of the doily. I'm stamping my date, and the good thing about this acrylic paint is I could actually wipe off where it smudged and before it dried too quickly. So here are a couple of close-up views of the top and the bottom. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the Faith Art Box, and come back and join us. Thanks so much. God bless.